Hey YouTube, I'm gonna call this my best pawn shop finds, I guess. I know in a lot of my local pawn shops where I live, I say a lot, and there's four, but only one of those pawn shops, the owner even he cares about coins and he'll mark them accordingly. But all the others, obviously they get coins, silver, gold, that kind of stuff brought to them, and a lot of times they just price it as is, and they don't look up any of the key dates, semi keys, varieties, anything like that. And it kind of comes down to who wants to sit there and go through the piles of wheat pennies or piles of merc dimes, that kind of stuff. But I have 5 coins here that I've bought, and all five are graded. I've had all 5 of them graded, and please understand, I've acquired these things over the past 15 years or so, and I honestly can't remember what I paid for some of them, but it was minimal. I do know that I wouldn't have got many of them graded unless I had very little money into them due to grading fees. But we'll go ahead and get started here. There on the right, this is the 1912 S Liberty nickel, or the V nickel, I guess is what it would be called. And it is in VG10, which means in VG10 you can read some of the letters of Liberty on the headband. Now, this coin, like all Liberty nickels, they circulated very heavily, and this one is no exception. It's good that it got a VG. You can see the L, I, and the B in Liberty, and the mint mark on these things is there in the back. If you'll look under the left at about 7 to 8 o'clock, there's a little S. But the back looks better than the front by far. The back is probably a strong find, but the front is kind of eat up. But these coins in this grade are probably worth, in the ballpark of $140 to $175, right through there. And I found this digging through just really a jar, honestly, I guess is the right term, of Liberty nickels at a pawn shop. In its local pawn shop. And I always check the 1912s. And this one happened to have an S on it. And, I wouldn't have paid over $2 for it. And this has been years and years and years ago, and I got it graded, and now you're looking at the result. It's a cool coin, and you can get them for less than $300 in a much higher grade, much more eye appeal. But the story on this one's just neat to me, and I've honestly never seen another one in person in my area. I've only seen them online. This is probably the best one I've found. And this wasn't a pawn shop find. This was actually a coin roll hunt find. The 31S, I guess I'd call it a semi-key on the wheat penny side of things. But this particular one, it was graded VF35 brown. It was so close to that extra fine. But it has great eye appeal still. All original fields on it. Really nice coin. But I was coin roll hunting, and you always pick out your Wheaties and check for varieties, and I just save Wheaties in general. And heck, I found a 31S in a roll, and I had probably went through, I don't know, 150 rolls of pennies without much luck. And, this makes up for all of them. This coin in this grade is $60 to $70 maybe. Something like that. But even, coin roll hunting, you just go, it's face value, you just swap it out at the bank. So this was well worth it. But it's a really neat coin, and you can find these higher grades very easily as well. I have a lower grade one than this that I've never got graded, but I just wanted to keep this because of the story on it. My other ones are all pawn shop coins, and at a particular pawn shop in the area, actually all three of the next coins came from that pawn shop. This is the 1871 2 cent, and it graded an EF40. It's an annex coin, so take it for what it is worth. But it's brown, looks a lot better under the light. It has a lot of detail left. I kind of thought this might get an AU, but the back is a little circulated, more so than the front. But this is, I believe, the second hardest 2 center to find. This 1872, boy, it's a real pain to find. And to buy one just online affordably is really hard to do. But the 1872 is the only 2 center I do not have in my personal collection. I've never dished out the money for one. I'd honestly like to try to find one kind of the old school way. But the story on this was just priced like any 2 cent piece that circulated at a pawn shop. So I gave $12 for it. And this is I don't have a clue what they're worth. I know with it being kind of the harder one of the harder ones to find in the 2 cent series, it is more valuable than the others. That's a pretty neat coin. All right, this is very heavily toned. It isn't eye appealing unless you're sitting here looking at it. And in the holder, it really took away from being able to show the tone off. You can kind of see it there. This is the 1860 O seated half, and it's a beast of a coin. So at a pawn shop, I gave $45 for this. And they had it marked as cleaned at the pawn shop, and it was very obviously not cleaned. I had a loop on me, and I looked it over a time or two before I really pulled the trigger and bought it. But it's a really nice coin. Both sides, you can see the toning there. Both sides are toned, and they assumed it was cleaned, I guess, because the surfaces were pretty shiny, honestly. And I really thought this could get mint state, but there is just enough circulation on her face, a little bit on the shield and hand, and then the drapery there. There's just enough to warrant the AU55. It's a totally fair grade. For $45 plus a grading fee. I sent this in when Annex was having a sale, and I have all at $12 in the grading fee. So $57 in this, and it is a $300 coin, something like that. I don't really know what the AU55s are going for, but any New Orleans mint half like this is pretty cool. And this is a really nice 1950D Jefferson. I don't remember what I paid for this. I know I got it at a pawn shop along with a whole bunch of other coins, but man, it had some serious luster on it. And in looking at the back, when I sent it off, I was hoping they'd designate it with the full steps. And obviously, you can't see it in this video very well. You can kind of see. But I can count 6 steps on it, and I guess Annex did not. But a 50D full steps in a mint state 65, is a $50 coin or so. This one's obviously not a $50 coin, but it is a brilliant uncirculated coin. But I didn't pay more than 50 cents for this, I'm sure. But I had it a long time, and sending in newer coins like this is just, it doesn't make a lot of sense to get them graded. But I had a slot to fill sending in an order, and I thought, why not? Let's just go ahead and send it in. And It did get an MS-65. Not bad for finding it in just a cup of other Jefferson nickels. You know, they were all in 2x, and you know, all of them I guess were uncirculated, but the toning on it was just really, really nice. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and let me know what your best pawn shop or coin store find was. Now, I'm not talking about like gypping people out of a good coin or whatever, but actually doing the work, knowing your coins, and just finding kind of buried treasure in a sense. Thanks for watching.